Samuel Brown, age 21, from Hyattsville, was convicted yesterday of multiple charges related to the death of Wazzie Brown. Wazzie Brown was from Washington, D.C. That homicide, or the death of Mr. Brown, took place on February the 10th, 2017. Yesterday, after a jury trial that took the entire week, the jury convicted Mr. Brown of multiple counts, which expose him to a total of life plus 40 years, and he will be sentenced for these counts on June the 22nd. He was convicted of attempted first-degree murder, attempted armed robbery, conspiracy to commit armed robbery, use of a handgun in the commission of a felony, and a conspiracy to use a handgun in the commission of a felony. This case was a little bit unusual legally because the victim in this case, Wazzie Brown, was actually one of 4 individuals who conspired together to commit a robbery of a drug dealer. The victim in this case was an Edgar Garcia. Mr. Garcia was out there selling drugs, and he was targeted. They specifically, Mr. Brown came from Hyattsville, and the other 3 individuals who are his co-defendants, some of those matters are still pending, came from the District of Columbia, and they came here solely for the purposes of committing a drug rip. It is, I guess, the irony of this case is that one of the individuals who came here to commit the robbery was, in fact, himself killed during the course of the robbery. And the other irony in this case is that the target in this case, Edgar Garcia, who was in fact shot 4 times but survived, has been charged by my office in yet another case, a case that I know that you are familiar with, in the double homicide that arises out of the Northwest High School, where the 2 boys were executed the day before the graduation. Mr. Garcia is charged in that case. So there are some twists or turns or some hurdles as a result of that taking place. I will tell you, I am very proud of the work that was done by Andrew Hahn and John Lalos that are behind me. Some of you may have sat and watched their handling of this case. And again, one of the really extraordinary detectives in the Montgomery County Police Department is Dimitri Reuven, along with Randy Kusan. They were the lead detectives in this case, and it was a very tough case to put together for some of the obvious reasons I think you now know. I just one little aside about this, and I will tell you, and the aside that I would have is that I think sometimes we don't we think about marijuana as a nonviolent drug. We had this conversation upstairs. The drug involved in this drug distribution, it was marijuana. It was pot. And I will tell you, we started to go over the cases in which drug dealers have been killed in drug-related cases that went bad. And I will tell you, we almost couldn't think of one that didn't involve pot. And just for whatever it's worth, I just, sometimes we don't think about the violent world that sometimes can be associated with even marijuana. But the drug deal in this case involved marijuana, and the last 3 or 4 that we could think of involved marijuana. And I just wanted to point that out because it was a thought or an irony that was not lost on me.